Well,
they want to get close up, get personal. Why you gotta be the first to know? I hit them highs, miss them
yo, check this out. This is MC Light, your host, Miss Danaya.
Still intact, building stacks, body bag and killing trash. You probably heard me stunting award shows, no frontin'. I'm just setting a London and what you heard I done it. Like woo, every day I'm just hustling, getting paper. Who is you? Ain't accustomed to getting cake, baby. That's
Yo, this is MC Light. Check it out. It's all good. Danaya.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Danaya Azure Radio. My name is Danaya Azure. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Blab, and Periscope at Danaya Azure. Make sure to like the Facebook page, facebook.com/NotAsAnsForYou. Check out the website, www.NotAsAnsForYou.com. And I have a very special co-host with me this evening. He is the owner of Next Legacy and definitely doing the damn thing all over the country. Shout out to the fam in Boston. I am branded. How are you?
It's all good. It's all good. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Danaya Azure Radio. I gotta get you an intro, girl. We gotta set it off.
I know we gotta work on that.
I gotta make sure I get you
the time to do all that stuff. So I was trying to put the music.
I'll get you one on the next go around. It's all good. I'm here. I'm ready.
Right? My thing's acting all crazy. My sister don't want to play no music, but it's okay, though. So I guess we're just supposed to get into the topic, I guess. I'm assuming that's what Blog Talk's telling me today, because they don't want to play my song. But it's all good, though. It's all good.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
So let me tell y'all what we have in store for you tonight. We have a dynamic panel of some incredible people. And what are we talking about tonight? Being African American in the world of social media, what are the struggles and how we overcame them? Man.
Wow.
I can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
And hey, this topic, can I say this? This topic is, it's going to be some stuff that needs to be told. I have very strong opinions about this. I know we got a panel of people tonight, right? So, I'm gonna defer to you being the host and your panel of people, but I got stuff to say. Social media, media in general, people's perception, all that stuff. I'm ready. I'm ready to discuss. I'm ready. You have no idea.
That's what's up. And we got two of our panelists on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves. Hopefully Blog Talk will be nice today. Hold on, let's see. So we have the owner of HFL Magazine and K4SENT, Kevin Forrest, is in the building once again. Hello. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you guys for having me on tonight.
What's up, man? You ready?
Hey,
are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. That's what I like to hear.
Let's do it.
And we got my diva, Miss Celebrity makeup artist herself, and a speaker at the upcoming Periscope Summit, coming January 14th to the 17th in San Francisco. Cannot wait to meet her. This girl is amazing. She is a motivator. She is a great speaker. She is a huge giver. When I talk about giving, she's giving away stuff all the time when it comes to beauty. Always doing charity work, always doing nothing but incredible things. Cannot wait to talk to her. Please welcome my diva, Miss Pasia Hudson.
Hey,
hello.
How you guys doing tonight? Hi. Thank you for having me.
Hey, my queen. Hello, my queen. Are you ready tonight? My queen?
I'm very much ready.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm ready. I'm ready because not just y'all ready, because I feel like topics like this need to be put out there, not just for the masses, but people should be listening worldwide on a topic like this, because I'm pretty sure y'all is just gonna tell it like it is, like we will. So, I'm ready. I'm born ready for this. Danaya Azure Radio is the truth. Let's get it on.
Yes.
Let's get it on.
And last but not least, we have our final amazing panelist. We have my diva, who is the Ebony Magazine deemed Blab superstar, Miss Tashan Parks Twyman, is in the building. Hello, hello, hello.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, Danaya.
Hello, my queen.
Hey.
Hi, my queen.
Hey, everybody. Hello. How are you all doing this evening?
Doing well.
We got
Wonderful.
we got kings and queens on tonight. It's all good. You ready too, right? Are you ready?
Oh, I've been ready. I stay ready.
Ooh, I heard that. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right.
Okay. So we're going to start with Paige first. Paige, tell everybody who you are and what you do and all about how you got chosen for Periscope Summit.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm a Los Angeles-based freelance makeup artist. I'm also a speaker, motivator, beauty brand influencer. Trying to think of all my titles now. Blogger, entrepreneur, everything. And basically how I got chosen for Periscope Summit was when I came on to Periscope, I came on right when they were having the other Periscope Summit, the first one. And I saw all the scopes, and it looked really exciting, but I said there's no representation of the beauty industry, and I don't like to be ignored. It bothers me. So I said, you have to give it to us. I said, we're a recession-proof industry. I said, during the recession, we still, took in $60 billion when people couldn't afford to live. So, and we've revolutionized, the internet. Every time you turn around on Instagram, on YouTube, there's a how-to video about how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, and we bring money to all these sites, including sites like Periscope. And so I contacted, Ryan Bell and all these other people, the creators of Periscope Summit, and I said, hey, I have some ideas. I said, I definitely don't think you need to leave us out, and we could bring you guys a completely different audience and perspective. So I hit him up, and he said, okay, you know what, when we have the next summit, make sure you follow up with this message. And I did that, and it was all uphill from there.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up.
Congratulations on your grind. I respect that.
So from the team, I'm sorry, I can't leave out Tashan. I can't leave out you guys, because without you guys, because they could have picked any beauty girl, black, white, whatever. They could have picked anybody to represent beauty at Periscope Summit, but we worked as a team to make sure we were tweeting them, retweeting each other's scopes and tweets and things like that, so that they could see the power of what we do and who we are. So I definitely am not going to act like I did it by myself. I definitely have a great support team out there. So.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, Team P. Diddy. Team P. Diddy.
Right. And Miss Tashan Parks Twyman, sorry about it, who you are and what you do, please, Miss Lady.
I'm Tashan. I'm I'm kind of like Beyonce. I'm like the only one on the planet. But no, actually, I am a business consultant and I'm a media marketing strategist. What I do is I work with urban professionals and entrepreneurs. I show them how to leverage the power of the internet, from digital media to social media, email marketing, relationship marketing, and tech. And I show them how to leverage those tools to establish their brand, scale their business for growth, and increase their income, and how to use those tools both on and offline to basically make more money, right? And I think that's an element in the conversations that we're not having in the online communities. They talk a lot about community. They talk a lot about, the digital and how to drive traffic. But for some reason, the conversation is being left out is how to get paid. And if that is not the point of being in business, then I don't understand why you're even having a conversation. So I've inserted that conversation and what's been going on in the digital and online communities, and really showing people how to convert their online conversations into customers, clients, and compensation. So that's what I do.
Real quick, I salute what you're doing, but also can I say that, in addition to making money, like if you're doing anything on a business level too, like not just the money making aspect, but the drive to be able to continue a business and leave a legacy for the next generation, not just your family, but other people to take it over when you're gone, because we're all not going to be here, in the next, 75, 85, 100 years. But that business still need to be continuous, you know what I mean? So it's deeper than just the money part of it. It's also about trying to be able to extend that and leave a legacy for other people to be able to continue what you started.
Absolutely, and I think the best way to do that is through education. It's through having this conversation. Most people think a legacy is with money or a building. A legacy,
right.
Are you able to transfer your knowledge and your wisdom of how to build a business, generate that revenue, and also replicate it to the next generation? That's a legacy. And if we don't talk about it, then we can't be about it. And I think that conversation is missing, and I'm okay with having that conversation.
Amen.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And last but not least, Mr. Kevin Forrest, can you tell people who you are and what you do?
Yes. I'm Kevin Forrest, owner of K Forrest Entertainment, HFL Magazine. Pretty much I make music, I do producing for music, but outside of that, I also handle HFL Magazine, which is turned into an independent powerhouse. I kind of branched off from the music to a website and got into media, and then created the independent platform, HFL Magazine.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. So we're going to start off with the first question. I'm going to go to Peja first. So what made you decide to get into the media world?
Honestly, I think it was just part of God's plan. Because honestly, I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer growing up. So I really wanted to be extremely behind the scenes. I had no intention of being in front of the camera, doing anybody's makeup, touching anybody's face. I wanted to be a paper pusher and make sure that everybody's paperwork was good, and that's about it. And then as I grew up and saw how nasty it was to have to be an entertainment lawyer, I just decided it wasn't for me. So I went the business route, and I decided, I'll be in business and sales and marketing, got my degree, all that stuff. So while I was in college, I started doing makeup as a hobby on myself because I didn't know how to do makeup. And so I said, well, I'm going to learn. I'm going to practice on myself. So very quickly I picked it up, and people just started saying you should do it. And so I remember it was, I graduated from college in 2010. So I graduated into that class, that recession where they didn't expect us to get jobs for like up to 2 years. And they were right. So I'm doing makeup, and, my brother called me and says, why don't you do it on people professionally? I know a pro makeup artist. I'll see if you can shadow her, or, she can be your mentor. And it kind of took off from there, and then I after I got on camera and YouTube and things like that back in the day, I realized people like me a little bit, I guess. Honestly, it's still always, believe it or not, a shocker for me. I'm just kind of, like I said, just going along with it and just seeing where God takes me with it, because I never, ever wanted to be a movie star, a reality show star, a TV star, any of those things. I just always wanted to, be what I'm supposed to be, though. So if it's meant for me to be a speaker or be a voice or be a face so that I can be the difference and communicate the right message, then I'm willing to do that. But that's really how it happened. But now that I'm here, I'm seeing what's going on. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to stay here because I gotta be the change,
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. Definitely. To Shan, same question, please. What made you decide to get into the media world?
Oh, my God. Paige, I really think that, the more we get to know each other as friends, most people don't know, Paige and I are actually friends. We met in Periscope World, and shout out to everybody in the Love Tribe over in Periscope. And that's why I was met Danaya as well. Shout out to the Love Tribe. And I was introduced to online media in 2013. I was recovering from a head-on collision, and I was rehabilitating. At the time, I couldn't walk. I had lost my business before. I had a business. I had been in business since I was 23. I was a high six-figure earner at the time, and then I got in a head-on collision earlier that year, and by the end of the year, I couldn't walk or really talk, so I couldn't move, and I lost my business, and I was going through therapy, and I was rehabilitating very quickly. I know this is kind of a strange story, but I was rehabilitating quickly, and so I started helping my therapist with her clients. And she was just like, can you help go through this process with people that have gone through the same thing as you? I said, sure, I can help them. And I was helping her with a training with a very small group. And when I got there with the training, one of the young ladies were like, hey, so Ms. Plummer, where's your pay gate? I'm like, what's a pay gate? She said, well, where do I go to pay you for this session? and if anyone knows me, I'm always about how to convert anything into compensation. And my wheels were like, oh boy, I can get paid, and I didn't move. I can't move. I can't even get out of bed. And you're telling me I can pay someone was willing to pay me for my expertise. And that moment I knew, and I started searching for ways of how to make money online, leveraging online platforms, because I was able to communicate with her, and she was in Alaska, and I was in Georgia. And that's where it started, and it's morphed in from there, and I've been able to collaborate with some really good friends. As a matter of fact, I'm on the radio right now, and I'm on training because I'm in student mode right now, learning from some of my colleagues the new, internet marketing techniques that I need to know. So I'm training right now at the same time and here. So I always want to get good at what I do, and so I entered the whole online media thing from after getting in an accident. So like Paige, I'm an introvert. So I quit law school. I always wanted to be a lawyer since I was in the first grade, and I was in law school when I was introduced to entrepreneurship, and I quit law school after my second semester, and I've been working for myself ever since. But ever since then, I didn't really tap into media because I don't like to be in front of the camera. I don't like to be the person right now on the radio. That's not my style. I'm behind the scenes. I'm an orchestrator. I make things happen. I'm like the Quincy Jones. But this thing came out here, and I'm like, got to take advantage of it. And so now I'm out of my comfort zone. But I'm good at it, but it's not my preference. So it's kind of like one of those things. God kind of puts you in something, and he's like, you can keep fighting it or you can just roll with it. I just decided to roll with it, and it's been flowing ever since. So that's how I got into media.
That's what's up.
We are friends.
That's definitely what's up. Kevin, same question?
Yeah, well, I've been in music since 2005, and as I got better and better at it, I was, attempting to reach out to people, to try to get exposure. So I was trying to get, interviews or, radio play and that kind of thing. But people at the time, this is like 2007 at this point. So at the time, people just weren't really paying attention to me because they figured, okay, well, music is okay, but, he doesn't have the resume to go with it. So in 2009, 2010, I was like, you know what, if no one's going to help me, and open the door for me, I'm just going to go and do it on my own. And so I created k4s1e39.com, and I would put up, my stuff, and I would tweet it and I would post it and that kind of thing. And I would also put up things for other independent artists as well. And what ended up happening was, the website got really popular very quickly. I was at 6-7 million hits in a matter of 4 months. So I was like, oh, well, I need to utilize, this spotlight as best I can. So I was able to use it to put other independent artists on, and I realized people were paying attention. They basically understood, what I was trying to do at that point. So next thing, a friend of mine, Polo the Fur King, he puts me on to Sirius Radio, and we get 2 million listeners that night. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this spotlight is serious. So this is something else right now. So I was like, while I'm here, let me try to create a platform for other artists that have the same struggle, that are trying to get out there, trying to show people that they have the talent, but they don't have the connections or whatever the case may be to be able to really put their name out there in the spotlight. So I'm like, since I have this spotlight, let me put as many people as I can in it. And that's when I came up with HFL Magazine, because I've noticed that a lot of magazines, especially independents, were coming out and basically dropping off the face of the earth. And I was like, I need to do this and do it right, not just for me, but for other people like me that are willing to put in the work, but just don't have the platform to show people what they've been up to. And so, from there we ended up with, celebrities on the cover and all these different things, and we're still here, almost 5 years later.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy that it's almost been 5 years. It'll be 5 years in July of next year.
Yep.
which is pretty dope. So I'm going to start with you for this, Kevin, for the second question. What has been your experience in the field, in your field as a person of color? And this is a two-part question. And what have you done differently in order to stand out?
I think as a person of color, it's definitely a lot harder to be taken seriously. I think you start at -0, if there's such a thing. And you have to prove yourself in so many different circles to be taken seriously in media, because everybody comes up with an idea every day. And sure, it's easy to start it, but, can you finish it? So it's like that. That actually, made me really start to pay attention. And how I set myself apart is that I don't put myself in any one niche. It's not an urban situation. It's not a black situation. It's entertainment and lifestyle. And it's no different than your GQs and your Essence and your Sources and your XXL, which is why the celebrities respond to it and they gravitate toward it. The VH1s and the Maybach Music and the Def Jam and DirecTV, all these different things, they gravitate, toward it because of the fact that I'm versatile. You have to be able to be a chameleon. You have to fit in a particular box, but still be able to show who you are, and that will allow you to be able to set yourself apart. You don't want to be the same as everyone else that's trying to do a magazine. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this longevity.
Okay, definitely. Okay, cool. So, Keita, same question.
Okay, can you repeat the question for me again? Because we all know my memory is...
Sorry about that. What has your experience been in your field as a panel of... in your field as a person of color, and what do you have to do differently in order to stand out?
Well, first off, they always expect us, like Tashan was saying the other day, when they see us coming to an event, they expect us to be, without saying this in the wrong way, but to be their help. Wear makeup, wear hair, wear style, wear something. You know what I mean? So it's not that it's difficult to be. Well, I put it like this: we just have to be that much better than everybody else. We have to make sure that we come to set dressed right. We have to make sure that, we can't act out. Somebody who does not look like me can maybe make mistakes that I can't make. You know what I mean? And I have to come and be very, very professional while I see other women who are not of color come to set, and they come to set in sweats and stuff like that, and they can get rehired. But if I was to do that, I wouldn't get rehired. So I just have to be different and make sure that I'm extremely professional. I have to show them that I am intelligent. I have to show them that I am educated and that I do take this job seriously, and I do have to go out of my way to show them that I am more than prepared and that this is just not a hobby for me, that this indeed is my business, because they just in general, and not even just in my industry, they just expect less from us. Always.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's just the truth. So I just have to be better. Remember that episode of Scandal, what was that, a year or two ago, when her father was like, you have to be better than them always. You always have to be better than them. And no matter what you do, because they don't expect you to be. They, or if you do something average, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I expect there to be S. So it's just making sure that I show them that I'm professional, I'm educated too, and I mean business when I come around here,
Definitely. Cool. All right, and Mr. Shan, same question. So what has been your experience in your field as a person of color, and what do you have to do differently in order to stand out? Tashan? She might have the phone on mute. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I did. Sorry about that. I was muting it out. Make sure you guys didn't pick up the background noise.
It's all good.
What do I have to do differently? Everything. Absolutely everything. just if you've not gotten to know me, and some people don't, I've always worked in industries where I was the kind of the odd man out. I typically work in industries that were always male-dominated. I worked in industries but they appealed to me. There were things that were attractive to me. They were in alignment with my skill set. And like Tasia said, my parents told me I always had to go up and be better than everyone else. They always told me that African Americans in this country at the time have to work 4 times harder than everyone else just to get ahead. And I never took that as a racist thing. I know a lot of people. Sorry about that. A lot of people talk about. Sorry about that. Yeah, talk about racism, but even I'm a double minority. I'm a woman and I'm African American, so I have to deal with racism and sexism. So what it said to me was that the deciding factor of me winning and getting booked or getting hired was based on my own effort. And I had 100% control of that. So if that was the only variable. So when I go into a situation already knowing that I'm not blind, I'm not delusional, so what have I had to do to stand out? In media marketing and I would just take my industry now, as a woman, at times when I talk about business, it's not always appreciated what I say because of how I look. I'm going to dress up. My hair is going to be flossed. I'm going to put on makeup. But I'm not talking about beauty like Tasia. I'm talking about media marketing, monetization, branding, business, the numbers, the logistics. And sometimes it can be taken different way. Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting that from the diva. Well, that was your bad. But the caveat is it's one of my mentors, one of my mentors, Grant Cardone, says, the number one rule in marketing is get the attention. So I do different things, such as my hair is typically platinum blonde. Next week, my hair will be platinum blonde and gray. Okay? I stand out. I wear ruby red lipstick. And I talk about things that you're not expecting to hear from an African-American woman, like the gentleman said. I'm not like in a particular niche. My message is not niche. It's about leadership. It's about business. It's about media. It's about monetization. It's not race specific. It's not gender specific. It's not anything specific. It is if you are a person and you want to be a boss, you want to handle your business, you really want to know what it takes to be successful in business. And I've been an entrepreneur since I was 8. I've had official business since I was 23. I'm 36. This is what it's really going to take. And it doesn't matter what color you are. This is what you're going to have to do. Here's the ABC. No huff and fluff. No cotton candy coaching. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you the real deal. And so what happens is I stand out because the majority of the people that follow me are males. Because it isn't sensitive. It's not for or pro or anti. So what helps me stand out is, number one, work ethic. I'm up before you. I go to bed after you. I make myself stand out. I'm okay with touching subjects that may be a little, a tad bit racy for other people because, I'm black. I'm used to being uncomfortable. So I embrace what's supposedly the disadvantages, and I convert them to be my footstools to stand upon, which makes me stand out. African-American woman. I'm a business consultant. I talk about media marketing, monetization. I'm not talking about fashion, hair, and makeup. Now, don't get me wrong. I love fashion, hair, and makeup, and I think that if you guys check out the blab we did last week on my blab show, we talked about the beauty of the beauty of business and about how business professionals like Tasia and other women aren't respected, but they have to do 20 times the amount of work. And I'm not saying it just because, and it has nothing to do with the race. If you are, and let me give a shout out to Tasia because I know I'm taking up a moment, but I want to give a shout out to Tasia because this is what I respect about minority makeup artist professionals. As a minority makeup artist professional, you have to know the blend of almost 45 different shades of brown. Mm-hmm. Minorities come in 45 different shades of brown, and you have to know how to mix blend perfectly for different tones, different skin types, and shades. Oily skin, dry skin. Are they brown with a red undertone? You got now combinations of those 45 shades. You look at other people outside of, in the masses, they have about 6. Maybe I think about 4 tones, 3 different skin types, only 3 types of hair types. You don't have to remember a lot on that palette. With minorities, you have to remember not only 45, but a combination of that 45. That is the skill of a straight gangster. And when you're good, it's not only the talent, then you got to handle the business of the business, like a business. And that is not represented, and that's why we did a show last week, having Paige and some other ladies. That's still business. That's business like Fortune 500 business. That runs like CEO business, because I come from that. I've worked with those people who are making that kind of revenue, and I'm always listening like, this sounds like something my homegirl does. Let's go put her in that position. But media is a challenge. It's not an obstacle. It allows us now to put ourselves in our own position. No one else had to give us a hookup to get on media, because there's no racism. A computer is not racist. It doesn't care. You run the program, it does the work. So we put our own stuff on now. So that's what makes me stand out.
Definitely. I mean, I think, and I love what you said, that media itself is not racist. Media itself is not the problem. But I think what the problem is the fact of what are images of social media, and that's part of the issue that we have today. And that's why you're talking about that that I know that you have a lack of support when it comes to certain things. The fact that every single one of you guys are on an amazing platform. Every single one of you guys are doing incredible things, but you're still not at that in top level. And it's like, why? What the heck is going on? You know what I mean?
Let me kind of break it down then, because I think we should bring everybody in to kind of talk about just like whatever's on air. Like, I think when it comes to media, I feel like this. Media can be racist. It can be biased as bias can be, because there's so many different layers of it, and there's so many different things that they will either push out to the public or they won't even do it. It's just so much drama that they will go ahead and feed it. You'll see it on news reports. You'll see it on so many different channels as far as all the chaos. But you never hardly hear anything about success. You never hardly hear about, a lot of the stuff that's positive in communities. You just hear the guns, you hear the drugs, you hear the women, the prostitution, you hear the negativity that a lot of people post up or put out there. You always hear drama. It's drama-filled, but it's never geared towards, the positive aspects of, how you market your brand or how you do it. There's a lot of teachers and educators out here, but the sad thing about the way the media is, they put a spin on it every single time. Like, somebody's to blame, and then, we go in there. And, we can talk about later how, loosely a lot of, and I'm just going to keep it solid, like a lot of our black males and black females, like, they take the social media aspect for granted, because, they put out and push out so much negative product that they don't even go and shine. Like, everybody got, money in their hands on Instagram, like that got stacks of money, like that's going to impress the next person. But they don't even, like, I would rather see them post up a diploma, a high school or a college diploma of a child and say, this is what you need to achieve in order for you to do it. But instead they put that money out there as a carrot. But they don't put teachers or education or diplomas out there. And to me, that's the reason why I say, a lot of media can be super biased in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it's that bias and that I feel really dictates how everyone else, from a mainstream standpoint, approaches that media. Well, what are these people paying attention to? Are they paying attention to the stacks of money? Is the stacks of money getting likes and hearts over the diploma? Yeah, that's what shows, And so it's like, with that, you see thousands and thousands of people with stacks and fake hundreds, and that's another topic, and and all these things.
For sure.
Impressive. And at the end of the day, all it's doing is deteriorating, us as a people and limiting the ambition of the next generation.
It's like this, because, I definitely want the ladies to, have y'all opinion on some of the stuff that's out there, too. But, y'all see a lot of it, and I'm geared towards my brothers and sisters, black male, I got to speak on my other black males and black females. And this is, I know it's multicultural, and we gonna get to y'all, but I'm just, I'm putting my black males and females in a pocket right now, because, the stuff that I see online is out of pocket. Like, like promoting y'all business right now should be like applauded and commended and this, that, and the other. But instead, there's a lot of us that'll go ahead and post up fights between in their neighborhoods, and you don't see a lot of white people do that. Like, you don't see a lot of white people post up videos of you know, neighbors fighting each other, and then, you know, the brothers that's in the video saying, we're going to put it on World Star. We're going to put it on World Star.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All that, like, we get more of that than anything out there, and people will like that more than they would like educators, people putting out serious products. So we got to find a way in a lane to be able to just, you know, get these people to understand it's deeper than just that. A lot of people put that stuff out there, and that's sad. Every time, like, I get so turned off by it, it's just ridiculous now, because it's being a little too extra right now, and you don't have to do that. Instead, like, you know, people can have beef all they want to. Either they, for me personally, go in the ring and deal with that, or talk about it peacefully. You know what I mean? Like, you know, do something a little bit more constructive instead of having some side dude or female post a video up, you know, with people fighting and they ain't even trying to stop it. You know what I mean? It's just sad. It's just sad. But, you know, the media spin on blacks, like, you know, and I like I said, I ain't racist, far from it, but you get a lot of white people probably saying, yep, there you go. Yep, there you go. Mm-hmm. You can just go to World Star, and that's the Bible right there, because you know what World Star does? They promote that propaganda. And to me, that's not fair either.
I agree. And I mean, even with the World Star situation, a lot of times even those websites are owned by, you know, people other than people of color. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so they're dictating what they want to see or what they want you to see. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it creates a situation where we're not even fully represented on the sites that, or even the TV channels. I mean, BET is owned by Viacom, and it used to be owned by Bob Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But he sold out, you know, and you know, to become a billionaire. You know, it is what it is. But now you have a situation, you know, where it's like going from BET Uncut, and they get rid of Teen Summit, and they get rid of, you know, 106, and all these things that kind of show people and their success stories and their intelligence are then cast to the wayside. You know what I mean? Yep.
Look at that, what you just said. You know, BET was the perfect example. It was owned by Johnson. Now Viacom, you know, is white owned, and you know, and they took out like the core values, like Teen Summit. Mm-hmm. You know how many times I watched that during my you know, adolescence, and appreciated the fact that there was somebody out there that was looking out for somebody else out there too. Like, you know how solid that was. And, you know, and it's gone. And they don't have that many lanes like that. And the lanes that they do have is not being promoted. And it's the generation, that weird generation that we're in right now, because, you know, they're still trying to find themselves. And I'm not going to condemn this generation. It's just they're confused. Like, every single generation right now going forward is confused. But, ladies, I have a question for y'all, because you know how we just talked about the fact that all these, you know, these videos of fights and all that other stuff pops up. But, you know, ladies, just opinions. You know, there's so many women out there that's, you know, taking selfie Instagrams, half naked, this, that, and the other, or whatever, and they're not even models. They're not models, but they're using social media for those continuous gains. Like, what are they trying to gain? Like, you know, I don't know if y'all, like, you know, tap in or speak to certain people or whatever in general, but when they take those selfies and they take it damn near naked, you know, in most cases, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are they trying? Are they trying to gain self-esteem, or are they trying to gain likes so they can be able to say, hey, I got 100,000 likes just because of my body or whatever? Like, what is y'all opinion on that?
I have a very strong opinion on it. But I think it's not to blame anybody, but like you were referencing, like the World Star videos and all that kind of stuff like that. I remember personally last year I made it a point to not like or share any more of those videos on my timeline, and they have virtually disappeared. Now all I get is maybe funny videos or a dog doing something funny, because that showed me, because I did it as an experiment to see how powerful is just hitting the like button, you know. And recently on Periscope, you know, for anybody who watches, and you guys saw that, after I found out about Wow Wednesday from Danielle James and L'Oreal, I said I will never, ever mention Woman Crush Wednesday again. We're going to do Wow Wednesday, which is Woman of Worth. I cannot stand. I cringe at the thought of Woman Crush Wednesday because it probably could have been something positive, but it turned into the day that men post pictures of girls bent over on Instagram. And
wow.
However, here's also how I feel, and you know, my brothers, y'all just got to work with me on this one because I'm not saying all brothers, but a part of the reason why these girls feel like this is how they are going to get attention is because we have, in a sense, not individually, will work with me, I'm speaking generally, been devalued by our men. I was actually just on the phone with somebody earlier saying, you know, I've been told as a black woman by my very own brothers that I'm not valuable. I'm not desirable because of my skin tone and my background. And while I know on an individual level that's not true, that's also what the media promotes, and that's also what we propagate. And then we have people in the spotlight that they do go and marry a black woman or have kids with a black woman. Well, they're doing it with strippers and twerkers and the girls who are bent over in the videos. So now they don't feel like, and this is actually I'm getting a lot of this information from talking to a lot of my younger cousins, a lot of younger women, because I like to just sit there and just kind of see where their brains are. Not necessarily mentor them. I just want to listen to them sometimes talk and see really what pressures, what do you guys feel now? Because I know when we were younger, you know, coming out of high school and college, we didn't, thank you, Lord, we didn't have social media the way we do now. So the only examples we had before us was the Cosby Show. You know, everybody wanted to be Laura Winslow. We had that kind of stuff, you know, and I thank God for that. But now they're coming out of school and they're saying, well, I can get picked up by a basketball player. All I have to do is, you know, get on video and twerk or wear some. I have a cousin who's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, you'll be lucky.
But sweetheart, can I stop you real quick? But
yeah, go ahead.
It was like that before social media. Like the women flocking to the NBA stars, like they flocked to Magic Johnson in the 80s. We didn't have social media back then. You know, they flocked to, you know, Eazy-E back in the day before social media. They flocked to so many people back then before social media. So my thing is this, like, and I get what you're saying, and I feel you 100%. But it's like if the women are looking for attention from the men, then they don't deserve the men that they're trying to give attention to. Like, you know, by being naked, half naked, this, that, and the other. Like, if they hold each other down, like, to me, like, the sexiest woman before she even stripped down, you know what I'm saying, to, like, next to nothing back in the early 90s with Janet Jackson. Because back in the 80s, she was like, she didn't have to do that. She was winning beforehand, and she didn't have to get down and dress a little loose or whatever. Like, she didn't do that.
Here's the thing, though. And this is from someone, if you don't know me, I'm a very conservative type. Everyone knows me, Danaya knows me. I'm very conservative. You may not catch me in a tank top. Okay?
I feel you.
So
I can dig it.
Most of my friends are guys. Y'all stare at these girls. I'm one of those girls y'all don't talk to. You can tell me later how pretty I thought you were after you've been gawking at this other girl. I was the girl in college you didn't talk to because I never wore the tight jeans every single day. So I start thinking, which I didn't give a damn, oh, well, I'm not pretty. And she was like, no, that's not true because she's a hot mess. What is she doing? Oh, that's the girl you're running after because she's half clothed, so you know she's going to give you some because it's attention. Attention does not mean respect. You give these girls attention. Women are wired to want attention from men, and men are wired to want attention from women. That's why guys have all these flashy clothes and cars and popping bottles so they can attract other women. Okay? Women now have been told to get on TV, get fake breasts, fake boobs, be Kim Kardashian who bought all of her body parts, be the whole Kardashians who bought all their body parts, and you get to marry a Kanye West who put her on a pedestal, and I'm sitting there just like, okay. And I'm gonna give a perfect example. I'm gonna give twerking versus twerking. I'm just gonna go with the twerking chicks, right? Everyone knows I'm a big Amber Rose fan. Not because she twerks, not because she, you know, half naked and say what she said. She talks about the women who come from scantily or whatever background. She, you know, show her body and blah 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 blah. Guys drool over Amber Rose, but if you ever step back and observe Amber Rose's behavior. You never hear about Amber Rose sleeping with people. You never see Amber Rose at the club unless she's getting paid. You never see Amber Rose linked up to some ball players, slept with this guy, to this guy, to this guy, to this guy. But because she knows how to get attention. She knows marketers, and what you said about businesses will pay you for certain products that you use. And if you are pretty and attractive and you are doing what is getting attention and what gets males' attention, then other women are going to follow suit because you're getting the attention that they want to get from a man, so they follow suit. It's just human behavior.
But Amber Rose is a model, though, right? Amber Rose is a model, right?
No,
like she does modeling and stuff like that, right?
Amber Rose models on Instagram. She is now, but she was a stripper.
Right.
She was a stripper.
Right. Okay, well, see, let me stop you there. Let me stop you real quick.
Videos.
Yeah, but you know what? She was a stripper, then model, but she was still promoting her body in that same lane. So it's like, that's why I say it's like, women are stripped down, and those are let the models do what they do. But there's so many impressionable women who think that they are, and they use their bathroom as a setting to try to be a model, but they don't have modeling, they don't have modeling credentials.
Right, but they get 500 guys to like their stuff. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but what is that going to do for that?
They're not even trying to be supermodels.
But what is that woman? What is that woman that's going to have 500 likes? What does that do for her? Does that boost her self-esteem?
It does. Just hear what I'm saying. It does. Women,
and it gets Drake to notice her. It gets that kind of stuff. Working on the inside of the industry, I can tell you right now, you know what happens with a lot of those girls? They get noticed, right? And then Drake will call their publicist or whatever and say, hey, have her meet me at the airport. She's going to Miami with me because her booty is fat. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like that's the only way that they will get
But they ain't going to respect her, though. They ain't going to respect her at the end of the day.
This isn't a respect generation, though. This is more of a thirst generation.
But you can't say if you're going to respect her or not. I mean, Kanye West married a woman that did a sex tape.
Right.
And now she's on the cover of everything. Her example shows you. I have dated every black man and keep sleeping with different ones. But
that don't make her a winner in my eyes, though. Like that doesn't make her.
But here's the thing: she's a winner to a lot of people. But she's a winner to a lot of people.
But that's why a lot of people. But I look at it as this: if people are going to look at, they can look at Kim Kardashian, they can say she won because she's on the cover of everything and she's doing TV this, TV that. That's not a winner to me. And this is just my opinion because people can.
But she's winning.
Yeah,
but in this
what is she winning though? What is she winning?
Okay, wait a minute. You asked earlier what did she get out of it? She's getting paid. She's getting contracts. She's getting on TV. That is winning.
That's not winning when your self-esteem is so shot to the left. Because she came. But look, she came in the door. She came in the door as a chick who got smashed by Ray J in a sex video. That's how she came in the door. Like she came in the door on the disrespect hype. But people can say that she came up. She ain't came up to me like that. I don't respect her period. Just based on whatever.
She's still winning though.
Yeah, and let's follow that up.
She took her boyfriend leaking a sex tape that was going to make him money, and her mama converted into something. I didn't say what she did was cool. I never said it was cool.
Not moral. It's not moral, but it worked.
It wasn't moral, but it worked. Just like the instant.
That's just saying.
For example, gangster rappers talk about shooting people all the time. I've never been in a drive-by in my life, but every other song we talk about is getting coked up, popping pills, and shooting somebody.
Okay, you mentioned that. Let me stop because I grew up in that age where it's just like, the NWAs was talking about real life street shit. So that was like that. I can take it and look at it differently, but then there's a lot of people that can take that gangsterism and use it for selfish gain, and they have never seen a hood in their lifetime. They can go from the suburbs and they can talk about gangster this, gangster that, gangster that, but that doesn't make it. See, that's what I mean when I say that doesn't make it right. You get that suburb guy talking about all these things about the hood, and they haven't even done it. So how was at the end of the day, just because they made a little bread, how can that make them a winner when they came through the door on a disrespect hype? And money, to me, and I go back to what I was saying about legacy. Your legacy is going to be what? Like, just because you got a lot of money doesn't mean that you can be able to hold down and have a good legacy, because true to form, like, you can have not a whole lot of money, but you can hold yourself and your company down in the way you came in the door and be a legacy. You can be able to have people to talk about you on generations on top of that. You don't have to have a lot of money.
It's about the conversion.
Let me interject. That's wrong.
Okay.
If you don't have the money to hold your business down, it will not stay in business. Do not fool yourself. Business is run by one thing. It is fueled by money. How you get it, whether you do it positively or whether you do it morally, money is neutral. If you don't have enough money to fund your business, you will go out of business, and nobody going to remember you 100 years from now.
So what about drug money? Drug money. Look at Ruthless Records and Death Row Records.
Drug money that's still here today. It's about the conversion.
Hold on, one at a time, guys. Everybody's getting like really excited. Okay, so
look at this. Look at y'all. Look at Ruthless Records and Death Row Records. They had all the power, all the money, and look at their businesses now.
But can I say this? We're in a different time. But hold on.
Drug money is better than stripper money? Drug money is better than stripper money? Come on now.
I ain't saying, either way.
Listen, my cousins were some straight, I ain't going to say their names, straight D-boys. But you can't tell me that it's more respected to be a gangster and sell dope to your people versus a woman taking off her clothes, getting naked to get her own money in a sex tape.
They both morally are not right. Both are morally not right.
Right, but guess what? You respect more of a Dr. Dre than you would a Kim Kardashian. Ooh.
Right. But let me say this too.
I mean, none of them
You have to consider the time we live in, you guys. Kim Kardashian will, and trust me, this is challenging for me to say, but Kim Kardashian, because of the way she changed things, especially with social media, will be legendary. She was doing TED Talks.
Let Kim Kardashian legendary. Are you serious? Are you serious?
She completely changed. Listen.
It's about the conversion.
Hold on, listen.
Hold on.
I would say a positive legend. Huh?
Go ahead, Deja.
Oh, I'm not saying she's going to go down. It's just like Napoleon Hill is a legend. It ain't a positive thing, but he's still a master at what we did, so we still study him. I'm not saying Kim Kardashian is going to go down and be a President Barack Obama. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is she did actually change. Right, so she did change the way social media is done. She now has
no doubt. No doubt.
So she now has it ain't not one thing.
But it ain't not one thing that she's done as you know, business. Yeah, she got the internet on lock. A lot of people talk about her. It's whatever. That's fine.
Right.
That's
what
fine.
What are our goals now?
Not disrespect.
People's goals have changed. People don't care anymore.
But that don't make it right, though. That don't make it
right.
We
didn't say it was right. Nobody said it was right.
We didn't say about making it right, and right is your own personal
and it's not acceptable. Like, I'm not going to accept. But listen, I'm not going to accept Kim Kardashian legendary or whatever. Like, she may have changed the internet, but you know what? Like I said, it depends on how you come in the door to me. That's just my opinion, and to me, it's just that.
It's like if you don't like it, it don't change the fact what she did. That's the thing. It doesn't change. We didn't say it was good or bad. But she changed the game, and she made it. She actually didn't change the game. Who changed the game was that damn Paris Hilton. That's why she was riding.
Yeah, that hurt too. For real talk.
You got paid.
A lot of respect for Paris Hilton.
And it wasn't even Paris Hilton. It wasn't even Paris Hilton. See, most people don't study business because we want to do our own personal preferences. And I'm not knocking what you're saying because I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian as what she does morally and her body and all of that other things. I respect it, but it ain't my flavor. I mean, just be honest. But
no doubt, respect that.
Who changed the game was Puffy. And I watched this on an interview, and he said he started doing something, and people never noticed. Humans consume things based on popularity, and we want to fit in and we want to be popular. And he said one of his mentors told him, so you stop rocking all this Tommy Hilfiger and all this other stuff you rappers are rocking and not getting a check for it. And he said something about when he got his PhD from Howard. And people are up in the world, why would they give Puffy a PhD in business and Howard? Because he is a master at what he does. He said what people don't realize is the money is no longer in the music. It's in the brand. It's in the image. It's in the lifestyle. He said, I started doing that in the 90s, and I make most of my money on endorsements because if I promote a particular product, and it's a product that I use in my lifestyle, and other people like my lifestyle, they'll go buy that product, and that's how TVs make money. So Puffy started doing that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean,
right, but hear me out.
Honey, trust me, I feel what you're saying. Like, you know, I have like...
But hear me out. Kim Kardashian is doing the same thing. You want to have a little waist, a big booty. You want a little waist, a big booty, a husband that got money, a family that likes you, a mom that supports you, all these sisters. You have the best clothes. No but.
No doubt.
People done got killed with Puffy. This is what I'm saying. Don't be a hypocrite when it's okay for rappers to do it. But you're saying,
no, I never said it was okay for rappers. Never said it was okay for rappers to do it. Never said that.
But you said gangsters and know what it's like. There's nothing cool about shooting people and selling drugs.
Not at all. But see, let me stop you there because but listen to what I said though. What I said was when people did and talked about that gangster stuff or whatever, that's the Eazy-E's in them. They was in that life. Eazy-E was a drug dealer. He talked about it, rapped about it, et cetera, But it wasn't cool. Exactly. True enough. I understand that. But there was a lot of police brutality. There was a lot of stuff that other rappers was putting out there that the media did not capture until NWA did.
Here's the thing. We don't care about what the other rappers did. They were drug dealers. They were selling drugs to the community they were rapping to, and it was killing them. Kim Kardashian ain't killing people. Suge Knight was shooting folks. They were crip walking. That is harmful. It don't matter what the people don't say they're doing.
I agree.
So don't let's talk about it's okay for those guys to explore that lifestyle. But if
did not say that.
Get half naked and shake their butt because y'all are watching, dudes, you're watching.
Right,
talk about
y'all are watching. That's the key.
No, it's just like this. It's just like this. And I did. It's very true. And I did. And there's a lot of people who has, several opinions. Like, I'm not going to disrespect Kim Kardashian. She does what she does, and, more power to her. That's and it's just like the music industry nowadays. It's just like my brother who's been doing music since '05, and it's just like, dude got talented music, can't get put on because there's so many people that's brainwashed by wanting to listen to the same thing over and over again. Doesn't make it right because that doesn't give other people a chance to shine. Like in Kim Kardashian's situation, okay, she's a social media socialite. And she, just like Paris Hilton, they can make their bread and do what they got to do. But when it comes to, like, other avenues, like they're getting invited to XYZ, but there's actors and actresses that can run rings around their talent, and they're not getting the same just because they need to make room for Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton. Doesn't make it right.
And that's why to your brand. That's why it comes back around to your brand, and you can't.
It's not even about. But see,
from my perspective,
it's not even about the brand no more.
It is about brand.
It's about the brand. For example,
no, it's not. Listen, it's not about the brand though. It's not about the brand no more. When they only allow Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian in, it's not about the brand because they're not giving nobody else a shot. They're only giving the Kim Kardashians and the Paris Hiltons in.
CJ, let me give you this house right quick. Because I know this may be a little different. I'm black, but I didn't grow up mostly around white people. My black people. I grew up around mostly white people. Stop talking about stuff got to be fair. Life ain't fair.
Ain't no such thing as fair, dude.
There's no such thing as fair.
Trust me, I know. I had to open my own doors and do my own thing. Trust me, I know.
Listen. They don't. Nobody got to give you a shot. You make your shot.
That's right.
Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton are allowed in things because they got a bunch of followers. We don't say it's right. Hitler had a lot of followers. We don't say it's right.
So you saying that what was that Extreme Entertainment place that promoted and pushed her sex tape didn't put her on? Like, if they didn't push that line, she wouldn't have got put on.
No, she went to them and said, this is what I want to do. Instead of it leaking out on the internet and y'all making money off of me, let me get a check.
Right.
That's how that works.
She took control of her brand because the reason why she was doing a sex tape, because white girls start getting put on for doing sex tapes. Paris Hilton dropped one. Pamela Anderson dropped one.
That still don't make it right.
And we didn't
sex tapes and shit like that is just like, wow.
About making it right. But guess what?
I mean, I'm just saying morally right. That's just me, though. Like, that's just me.
But here's the thing is, you're right, it is just you, because you have more empathy for someone selling crack to someone than someone taking off her clothes.
See, you put words in my mouth. That's not even what I said.
No, you didn't have to say that. But you keep talking about drug dealers and they live in that life. I got plenty of cousins that live that life. I got a cousin that got shot up and can't walk right now. I got a cousin that's dead right now.
You talking to somebody that's been in that life. You talking to. But listen, when you put words in my mouth, I gotta say something. I gotta say something. If I did not. You saying that I'm accepting? You saying that I'm accepting the drug dealer rappers? You're saying I'm accepting that? I did not say that. I said the music that they put out. I said the music they put out. They were speaking about the life that they live. You gotta respect that. I did not disrespect Kim Kardashian and what she does.
I didn't say
I did not say that.
Them.
I'm just saying that personally, my opinion is this. My opinion is when it comes to these rappers, when it comes to these people like Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, all these people that's they're not, and you keep saying that, okay, well, you got to make your own lane. They're in the public eye, right? They're in the public eye. It's accepted. But you know what? Money does not. At the end of the day, okay, fine. You go ahead because they made a certain amount of money. Money is power, but doesn't mean that you can have a whole bunch of money, honey. But you know what? That's not your legacy is going to be your legacy. So what is her legacy going to be after she gets old and she can't move it like she move it? What's going to be her legacy? Her legacy is her money. When she dies, like if she dies tomorrow, what's gonna be her legacy? What's gonna be her sex tape?
Her legacy. She broke the internet. She changed.
Her legacy is gonna be her sex tape and her money.
She changed the way we do PR and marketing. There's
a whole lot of women out there that change the way social media is too, though.
No. Here's the whole thing. Hold on. Everybody, hold on one second.
Here's the whole thing about legacy. Here's one thing I have to ask about legacy. Is everybody going to remember Malcolm Shabazz as Malcolm X or Malcolm Little when he was a drug dealer in Harlem selling crack and cocaine? Is that what they're going to remember, or are you going to remember Malcolm X? Are you going to remember Martin Luther King?
I think it's about the conversion.
Are you going to remember? Right, but here's the thing. It's not about the conversion. It's what you want to remember. She took a sex tape. And it was deplorable. And she said, I'm going to go make my money because my ex-boyfriend decided to leak this sex tape to make money because she was becoming famous for being around someone famous. That's just the thing. It is what it is. So she was like, I'm coming up, and he's trying to make some money. No, I'm going to come up. They went and spent it off something bad and made it something.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. So if you have a daughter, I'm not sure if you do, but if you have a daughter and your daughter told you, I want to be just like Kim Kardashian, what are you going to say?
I would ask her, well, what is it about Kim Kardashian and why you want to be like her? I'd ask her why.
The sex tape and being with Kanye West, and I want to be in the public eye and have a celebrity boyfriend, this, that, and the other. What would you say if she said that?
I thought I wouldn't approve it, but if that's what you want to do, we'll see how that works out for you.
You going wow, okay. Because you know what, I got a 13-year-old, but you know what, I got a 13-year-old daughter. Listen, and I'm going to say this because I got a 13-year-old daughter. But you know what, not really. But you know what, the goal is this. The goal is this. I got it, but you know what? But you know what? If you don't ask that question, like if my daughter was to ask me that question, you know what? I would do what you said. I would ask her why. But you know what? I would not just dig deep. I would like, you know what? There's other females that can be able to hold court and do it in a respectful manner, because to me, sex tapes and all that other shit is not a respectful manner to me.
But you know what, Paige, I agree with what he's saying, but he didn't ask me for the whole conversation. He just asked me what I was going to say. I never said I wouldn't have a deeper conversation with her later. But if I try to stop her,
and
I'm not going to try
to
stop her.
And the reason why I say that, honey, honey, the reason why I say that is because there's so many, there's hundreds of thousands of women, of little girls that's just like that too, though. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Guess what? My mentees are like that. And when they see me doing my thing, and I'm dressed to the nines every day, and I don't take my clothes off, and I make more money than every dude they know, and I do drive what I want, and I date the guys that I want, then I'm influencing some right here. The reason why these girls are influencing on Kim Kardashian, because most people that are in our age group are too busy on social media to pay their kids any attention. So they look to Kim Kardashian because we don't go get our own money because we're worrying about what Kim Kardashian doing. I don't even know what Kim. I didn't even know she had a baby.
That right there.
Like she had a baby. She had a baby. Like how did you not know? Because I don't watch TV, and so I am the influence. I go get the money. I dress to the nines. I handle my business. But my girls want to be like me. So Kim Kardashian. The problem is we don't have enough of us getting into business, so we look to celebrities and they influence because you're not making an impact doing anything else. And we need to stop getting this twisted and saying it ain't about the money. That's bullshit. That's bull. It is.
I love what you said. I love what you said, and I'm 100% behind what you said. I would rather have your daughter or my daughter, like, take a look at you and what you're doing with your clothes on and doing what you want to do and handling it that way. It's just, to me, I think when you mix in just
Kim Kardashian, though.
No.
Like
see, that's the thing. I do not watch what she's all about. I don't pay attention to her like that. I don't watch her shows. I don't do whatever it is. I don't pay attention to that. But every other impressionable little girl does, and that's because they moms or they dads allow their child to be able to look, absorb, and watch.
Well,
and that's the thing.
Problem.
Like, I would rather, and what you said about your daughter wanting to be like you and not her, but there's a lot of other little girls out there that will come to whoever and say, you know what, I want to be just like Kim Kardashian. And I'm saying there's bigger fish to fry than just trying to be like her. I'm not saying that she did not change social media. I did not say that. But there's other things that you can do for yourself and for others that's deeper than anything that she's doing currently. Not about the money, not about the sex tape, not about who she with and who she married and how many kids she got by this dude. It's about what that woman or that little girl can do, not just with herself, but with the power that she can have with whatever talent that she do have. And it's deeper than trying to be impressed by. You can be inspired by anybody. I can be inspired by you guys. I can be inspired by Kim Kardashian. I can be inspired by Kanye West to make me do something else that's definitely not in their shoes. And that's what I was trying to get, because to me it's deeper than anything social media. Like, we got a topic about blacks and social media, and we see every anti-this, anti-that about social media, and it's deeper than that. If people can get and stop being impressionable and get caught up in this mix, that's why music ain't music no more. Because we had that when, I don't know how old you guys are, but we grew up in that avenue where music meant everything to us. We went and we traveled and we did and we bought and we supported because music was creative. There's not a lot of creativity now because everybody got it too easy. Social media made it too easy for a lot of these impressionable kids because now they want to be just like they want to. I don't know how many times that y'all probably saw on social media somebody's trying to lighten their skin tone looking like Kim Kardashian, get them butt injections, trying to have a butt as big as Kim Kardashian. That's the kind of stuff, breast, all that stuff done to look like somebody else, and that's not the lane that I want my child to be in, and I wouldn't want your child to be like that either. And that's what I was trying to say. It's too much of that.
Let me say, but it came from when we grew up. Because if you grew up in the 80s like it and I did, y'all dudes were putting these girls on these videos with these big loop dances.
Don't say y'all because you know what? But you know what? There's a lane for that, though.
A majority of it. I listen, I grew up in the 80s. I love all kind of rap, all kind of gangsta. I'm from a little country town.
For sure.
And every video I saw on MTV was after MC Hammer, every other rapper having some half-naked girl in her video. And then she's shaking her butt. It has evolved. My parents say the same thing about us. I listen now to what we say about these young kids. I'm thinking my parents were saying the same
But you know
thing
what
when
we
that music
did though?
came out.
But you know what we did because you grew up like you, so we around the same age though. So we around the same age. So you know what? That's respect. But you know what we did though? You know what we did back in the '90s? We respected like the older songs. We gave a lot of love to like the the Luther Vandrosses, you want to go backwards, the Jackson 5s, like you want to go back to the Delphonics. We gave them a lot of love in the '90s, so we blended that in. So we paid attention. So that brought a generation together. When you had Delphonics and Snoop Dogg and you had all these people bring it together.
We did. But our parents weren't saying that. Our parents were saying what we're saying about these kids. What I would say is stop blaming the kids. They're an evolution of what we started. And start saying maybe we should stop blaming them. Like I tell my parents, stop blaming the kids that having these teenage babies. You now want to give your kids all these freedoms. These kids were my age. And you're letting them do stuff that you wouldn't do. Stop blaming the kids when you're their parent. Mm-hmm. Stop blaming the kids when you
I agree with that.
Let's stop blaming the kids because they twerk.
I agree.
Stop giving your 7-year-old an iPhone. They have no job.
Right.
I don't understand what we're talking
about.
No,
I
don't
agree.
have a job. Who you calling?
Listen, but they need a phone. Give them a flip phone.
Yes.
Hey, for real.
Yes.
Hey, I didn't give my daughter. I didn't give my daughter a phone until she was 30. This year until she turned 13. It ain't one of those little iPhones or none of that. Like none of that. Like I kind of had that.
You were like 18.
Right. My told me you can have a phone when you pay the bill.
And I bought it myself.
I paid my own bill starting at 16.
Right.
But here's the thing on the whole situation, though.
And all I'm saying is it's like this kids that we're saying that about them when our parents said that about us, and it'll keep perpetuating. And what happens is it's just, I ain't going to be funny. I listen to some of the music now, and I'm like, I don't even know what these guys are saying. And I say, wait a minute, I sound like my mom. Why are you, so what I start doing, so why are you, I have to look at every year backwards how this music progressed into something else, and every generation don't like the generation before their music. They just don't, because it's not what they're used to. But
here's the thing. But here's the thing, though.
Listen to Super Freak from Rick James. That's a pretty perverted song, and my parents used to be jamming to it. I'm like, that's a pretty nasty song. And then when they heard R. Kelly, my mom was like, when 12K came out, my mom was like, oh, that's so nasty. I'm like, is it worse than Super Freak? Have you really listened to that song? And they just jamming to it. I'm like, Mama, have you heard what she was saying? But I'm just saying, all I'm saying is I think there just needs to be more communication and just say, where can we interject? And I think at our age we can, because we listen to some of this music that these kids listen to. We grew up with rap, hip-hop. But let's say, hey, y'all, hey, that's not cool. Stop watching that.
You right. And what you said about the fact that, these parents need to stop giving these kids these little avenues for social media, because I don't let my daughter do nothing on Facebook, or I monitor whatever little social media she has. Like, I got her passwords. Like, I got that app where you can be able to look at every single, message or whatever that comes their way. It's like you got to have more control over your children. Like, and to me, I think that's important. That's the most important thing you can do for your kids, is to police these kids nowadays, because everything is so loose and disrespectful. You talked about, I think y'all talked about earlier, the fact that, there's too many women twerking now. Like my son, I don't have a son, but if I did have one, I wouldn't tell my son to keep looking at that. Like, look at the right female. Don't look at the female for right now. Look at the right one, not right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, as you grow up and get older, like, even me, like when I was old enough, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't do a lot of stuff that most people were probably doing until I was in my late teens. Like, I didn't blossom and do whatever a lot of people said, because you know what? I wasn't trying to go the same lane as a lot of other dudes getting. There was so many guys in my high school was, dads at that age. Like, they were like 16, 17, 18 already fathers. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's not cool. Like, it wasn't for me. It was for them, but there was so many. That's why you're dealing with so many deadbeat dads, or dads that just went up and left or whatever, and you dealing with the aftermath for all that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to keep a closer rein on your children. And in order to do that, you got to be able to talk to your kids about these damn shows and this fucking music that's out here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Talk to them about it. Why is it not cool to twerk?
Why is it not cool to watch certain reality shows when reality shows is all about fighting and all this negativity? Like, y'all got to change y'all lane and deal with something on a righteous level.
Let me interject there. To be honest with you, we have to change because, like I said, I study this kind of stuff. And the demographic for who's watching these reality shows and things like that, it's not them. The majority of the people who are watching these shows are...
Next Legacy.